What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Miguel. You're watching Miguel EDC, the channel where we talk everything EDC gear here. Today we're doing a review video here on this fixed blade. Yes, of course, we're talking about the Korvid S from Kansept Knives. This is a version, a fixed blade version of their folder, which actually comes in many different sizes. Haven't gotten a chance to check out the folding version of the Korvid just yet, but from what I understand, there is the regular size, which is actually the same size as this one, and there is a mini version of this guy, and then there's an extra large, right, a much larger version of this guy as well. And it's such a popular knife on Kansept's lineup that they made it into a fixed blade as well. This is one of many different variations. This one comes in the micarta, but there are some with satin finishes on the blade, with bronze, carbon fiber and such. The varieties are all there. Of course, there's just tons of varieties for everyone's taste on this guy, so definitely worth checking it out. I will be linking this guy down below in the description if you want to check it out, if you want to learn more. Of course, in this video, we're going to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, everything, the pros and cons to this guy. But man, oh man, am I ready to unpack some goodies here with you guys about this fixed blade. This one comes to me via the Lefty EDC knife pass around, and so shout out to Lefty, aka Kevin, for letting me check this one out. I have had a chance to EDC this knife for a little while now, and I'm just about getting ready to record the review here and send it right back. It's been a great experience. I've gotten a chance to check out a handful of fixed blades here in my time with the channel. I think this is about the 4th or 5th ones. Something about folding knives that I personally enjoy a little bit more than carrying a fixed blade. We're gonna get into that a little bit later in the video, but let's go ahead and get started with this one, right? Really quick, just to give you an idea of what you get off the bat. You have a 154 cm steel blade here. This is a black wash blade, flat grind going on, cleaver style blade, and then you have a full tang construction all the way through. And you have, on this particular configuration here, you have the black micarta going on. Nice and comfortable, right? Very good on the ergonomics. We're going to talk about that in a moment here. The sheath is a Kydex sheath, and the fit and finish here is really, really good. You get that nice satisfying pop, just like that, every time you open it and close it, right? Just like that. I notice this one's not one that shoots out unless you really push it, right? If you really push it, you can send it flying sometimes, but it's not one that has so much pressure that's gonna fly out of your hand unless you really push it. I think I checked out the FLISSA from Asher Knives recently. If you haven't checked out that video, that one had a really nice sheath as well. Nice and comfortable. You got the basics here. The pocket clip works. It doesn't have a reverse piece here that kind of hangs onto your belt, so it goes in and out of the belt pretty good. And honestly, it's the way I would prefer the pocket clip done there, right? You could carry it, you know, just about anywhere, and it's nice to get in and out of the sheath there. Good construction. And you have what seems to be like a draining hole right here too. And yeah, so far so good. Let's get some measurements on this guy then. Right, this guy's the regular size Korvid, and I'm not sure why they put S in the name, but we're coming in at around 6.75 inches on the overall length. Well, the blade is going to be 3 inches, whereas the cutting portion is going to be about 2.8, 2.85. The handle is going to be around 3.75 inches right there. So yeah, you have a small / medium, right? A medium knife right here. Very, very comfortable in the hand, if I may ask. So ergonomically speaking, you have the finger forward choke option right here, which is perfect. And it is a 4-finger knife if you use that forward choke, finger choke option. If you do grip it back here, which feels a little unnatural, then you are going to have the pinky kind of, you know, hanging out there by itself. So definitely this will be the preferred grip, which feels really, really good in the hand. The handle has this curve to it, right, curvature to it, which really helps, you know, with this back portion of your palm here. Notice there is a little cutout here, right, on the blade, and that fits perfect for your thumb, right? So when you can add additional pressure right there, rest your thumb there for those precise slicing cuts. Boom, you can get to work, bushcrafting, whatever it is you're doing. Nice and spaced out jimping here too, so if you wanted to actually use that jimping, it's very functional, very, very good there. I love the fullers, right? These are just aesthetics. You know, since it's not a flipper, there's no necessarily a functionality to them, but they look really, really, really nice. And then you have a nice tapered off section here towards the front as well. I mean, for a cleaver, this thing looks really, really good. I'm not necessarily into cleavers as much, but checking this one out, I'm slowly but surely kind of getting into it. From what I understand, cleavers were the rage, you know, a couple of years ago, and they sort of faded a little bit. I believe Serge Panchenko is one that actually has somewhat kept the cleavers alive from what I know. But yeah, very functional blade here, right? A little bit of belly to it also. The blade is nice and sharp. We're gonna be doing a sharpness test here towards the end also. And you have the micarta handles here, which are nice and chamfered throughout. You know, they are actually rounded in a way, a little bit concaved. This two lines here add a little bit of personality to it as compared to leaving it plain. Right, certainly can appreciate that right there. And then yeah, very simple construction, right? 2 screws on each side and a hole here for your lanyard, and that's about it, right? So let's get some size comparisons then, just to give you a ballpark here. We'll do the PM2 as usual, Spyderco Paramilitary 2 and the Para 3. So you're looking at a fixed blade that is shorter than the Para 3. All right, that gives you, right, just to give you a ballpark there, the Demko AD 20.5. This one is in the titanium scales with a 20 CV. I recently just got this knife, and man, oh man, have I been having a blast with this thing. Check out the unboxing if you haven't already. But yes, it's gonna be much shorter than the AD 20.5, and honestly, very comparable. Yeah, it's even shorter than the Demko Shark Cub. This one here on the slicer blade. Take a look there for yourself. Yep, about maybe like a 1/4 inch shorter or so. Check out the Rat Model 1 right there and Rat Model 2. So it's more comparable to a Rat Model 2, even though it's still shorter than the Rat 2. The cutting geometry is about the same as Rat 2. Here's a CJRB Pyrite, very popular and recommendable EDC. The Raccoon, another banger as well from Vosteed. And yes, this guy's gonna be much shorter than both of those. And I think it will only be fair if I do a quick comparison to some other fixed blades that I own. I don't really own that many, but here is the Morakniv, if that's how you pronounce it. Never really understood the pronunciation on that. Here is the fixed blade from FLISSA, right? So those are about the extent of the fixed blades that I own. And you can see this guy is a much more smaller, daily carryable, you know, easier to conceal, if you will, sort of EDC knife for sure, right? So, but yeah, just trying to give you guys a ballpark, you know, just an idea there. It is definitely on the small size. It is definitely a small factor EDC. All right, we really can do carry profile, right, as we would with the folding knives, because this one obviously doesn't fold. But I will do a little bit of, let's see, the blade stock thickness here is going to be 0.12, which is not bad at all. That's sort of what you can expect from, I believe, is the PM2. PM2 is something like 0.14, so just a little bit slimmer than that. And then as far as the handle goes, right, I feel like, let's see, 0.52 inches, right? I feel like for the most part, 1/2 inch, 0.5 is what most companies aim for as a good rounded handle width. So that one is pretty much on the money right there. So as far as thickness goes, right, it's gonna be a little bit more comparable to something like the Rat Model 1. Take a look right there. Yeah, it's gonna definitely feel very, you know, as far as the thickness goes, very Rat Model 1. Something like the Raccoon, right? Very similar to something like the Raccoon in the thickness. This one is the one in the micarta scales. But yeah, that kind of sort of gives you an idea there. So weight on this thing is actually pretty light. That's another thing that you have going for it here, with it being a small factor fixed blade. So pretty light. I want to say maybe like 4 ounces. Look at that, right on the money. All right, right on the money right there, 3.9 ounces. And if we put the sheath, because obviously you're going to carry it with a sheath, then you're looking at 5.3 ounces. Okay, just for reference, that FLISSA knife with the sheath and everything was 6.6, right? So a little bit heavier. And that Morakniv, whatever you call it, this is Swedish. This is a Swedish knife I got a long time ago. This thing was like 10 bucks. This one comes in at 3.9. All right, so it's a little bit lighter too because of the FRN. But yeah, very, very light EDC, great for everyday tasks, of course. I'll say this, right? I'll say this. So if you're already a fan of the Korvid, right, whatever size, and you're you know, wanting to test out a fixed blade, this is one that you absolutely can't go wrong with. Definitely, this is going to be a solid option, right? It's actually not that long. The blade is not really, really pokey. You can still do a lot with that tip right there. You can do draw cuts, right? You can do all kinds of utility cuts with that tip. And it's going to be a robust tip, right? It's not going to be a very fragile tip by any means, which is a good thing, right? And get those cuts done. If you need to do any chopping, you can do a little bit of that as well, right? Any slicing and dicing for your, you know, let's say your camping needs or what have you, or just on the job site. It's very comfortable. I mean, really capable tool, to say the least, and it's growing on me, right? I wouldn't typically think of a cleaver as my favorite blade geometry, but for some reason, this one just has a, you know, the right touch of personality that slowly but surely is growing on me quite a bit, and I'm really digging it, especially during the time I carried it. It felt really good. Let's of course do a quick hardware check on this bad boy as well. I'm only seeing a handful of screws. That's the thing about a fixed blade, of course, you have a lot less moving parts to worry about. And it looks like we're dealing with big hardware. By the way, my tools are highly recommendable and linked down below in the description. It does help out the channel when you purchase any knives with that link, but that is entirely up to you. And TA, yes, TA is the name of the game here. TA all around, boom, boom. Solid job right there. Of course, you know, it makes sense. Makes sense to have TA, no small hardware here, none of that T6 nonsense. It's a good job. Concept on that, really good. I'm trying to think of what I'm missing, right? What am I missing that, you know, really trying hard to think about anything that I would fault or ding this guy for. But honestly, man, the construction, the fit and finish, everything lines up perfectly. And there's not like a opening and closing mechanism or anything. It is a fixed blade, so there's only so much you can go by here. And this thing being full tan construction, you know it's going to be solid, right? It's definitely going to perform, definitely going to do really good. Kansept did a really killer job here. Really killer job. I'm digging this guy a ton. And so highly recommend it, right? If you're looking into a small fixed blade. If you want to get into a fixed blade, but you don't want to carry a large fixed blade, here's a small factor one that is really definitely going to impress you with the performance, and it's going to get a lot of job done. This thing is a slicing machine. And it really performed really good with the different tests that I did while I was carrying it. I don't really do anything crazy testing or anything like that. I do mainly day-to-day tasks, cutting some cardboard, tape, rope here and there, a little bit of paper, Amazon boxes, stuff like that. But yeah, obviously it does really good with that, but it's capable of doing even more. If you do outside tasks, activities, outdoors, camping, anything like that, this thing is going to perform really well. Let's do a quick paper cutting test. Of course, we know this thing is going to cut. You saw that during the unboxing. All right, that initial bite, that's all it needs. It needs one good initial bite, and then it will cut really good. All right, see it there for yourself. And then once we got that first bite, then yeah, the thing is going to slice really good. All right, it might catch here and there. Honestly, keep in mind, this is not a brand new knife out of the box. It has certainly seen some use from the knife pass around. So a good strap will be in order right now. So we know it can do paper. What about some cardboard, right? That is this guy's area of expertise. So we got some everyday cardboard here. Remember when cutting cardboard, don't cut perpendicular like this, but at an angle, and it will look something like this. Yeah, cardboard is what this thing eats for breakfast. There's certainly no doubt about that. You guys rate it in the comments, right? And of course, you don't have that long of a, you know, cutting edge. So that's something you have to be mindful of. So you might, you know, run out of blade when doing some slices here and there, but it will slice. It definitely will cut. This thing is a performer. A small but mighty fixed blade here for sure. Well, there you have it, guys. That is the Korvid S from Kansept, a very comfortable to use, ergonomically friendly, and very capable fixed blade, EDC fixed blade here. Highly recommend this one. Now keep in mind, I'm not the most EDC fixed blade type of individual. I try to EDC folders all day, every day. I just, you know, I'm mesmerized by all the different locking mechanisms, the fact that you can tuck the blade away. It's a little bit more of a compact form factor, right, to carry this than to carry that, if you really think about it. So for urban carry, for, you know, like daily tasks and things like that, you know, my folders are always going to be my go-to resource. But if I'm ever outdoors and I know I'm going to be doing a lot of heavy duty work, tons of work, slicing, cutting, chopping, whatever it is, bushcrafting, whatever the case might be, obviously a fixed blade is going to be a better option. So that's when the fixed blade comes into play. We know obviously with less moving parts, solid full tank construction, a fixed blade is going to be obviously the more durable tool here. So definitely going to be something for heavy duty use. So check out the Korvid S if you haven't already, especially if you're into fixed blades. This is a small one that you're barely going to feel in the, you know, that you're carrying at all. Very, very capable, really, really good. Let me know if I missed anything in the comments. What else do you want to know about the Korvid S fixed blade, right? If you guys, hopefully at some point I get a chance to check out this version as a folder. That's going to be really, really interesting because I'm really sold on the cleaver, savage looking cleaver design geometry this guy has going on. Looks really, really mean, and it looks the business right there, right? So really, really good. Let me know again in the comments if I miss anything, guys. By the way, this knife is an SRM model here with the crossbar lock. I recently unboxed this guy. If you guys want to check out this video, I'm going to put a card for this one here next so you guys can check it out. If you made it to the end, you guys are the real MVPs. Thank you so much for checking out the video. Go ahead and smash that like button if you haven't already. After all, it is absolutely free and helps the channel reach a larger audience. Go ahead and subscribe already if you aren't already subscribed. I promise you there's tons of content like this coming at you on a daily basis. If you want to support the channel a step farther, there's a link for Patreon down below, or you can become a member here on YouTube and get access to exclusive perks. Really hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much for all your love and support, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.